Well, welcome everybody. You don't have to get all silent on me. This is a happy day. This is really a happy day, and I love that we have the upper deck watching. This is good. The upper deck seating. That's where all the beer served, in the upper deck. All right. So we are pleased today to welcome the newest company to our business park, HTP. And I have to say that I became aware of HTP before I became mayor, as a company that makes a fantastic set of products. One of my neighbors proudly showed off his HTP boiler in his basement and said, "This is the best boiler known to man," and in so many words. And it was made in East Freetown. And I thought, well, maybe someday there'll actually be a New Bedford company. And sure enough, the day has come. So we welcome HTP, which is a family-owned business that has multiple locations. It's grown up in Freetown. It has employed many folks in New Bedford for a long time, and now it has come to New Bedford to grow. At this site, at a really great site in the industrial park, right off of the main road, right in this great facility that we are so pleased to see reactivated. So there's so much to like. Let me just tell you a little bit about HTP, and then I'll actually have Derek Santos come up and offer a little more detail for a little more context, and then I'll have Dave Davis come up and give us a rundown of things, along with Jim Oliveira, our ward councilor and the go-to guy in economic development on the city council, and then we'll close with Liz Isherwood, the chairperson of the Greater New Bedford Industrial Foundation. So HTP was founded in 1974. It is a second-generation family-owned business. It is recognized as an innovation leader in the development, manufacturing, and distribution of space and water heating products and a variety of solar thermal panels and related products, both for residential and commercial uses. With this acquisition, with HTP's recent acquisition, it has moved its headquarters along with several important company functions to this facility in the North End. And these include the executive function, the front office, the financing, human resources, sales, marketing. And the point to really emphasize here is that it is big news for us in New Bedford that a company of this scale would move its headquarters to our city. And that is something really to celebrate. This isn't just some far outpost. This is a growing company, one that produces a very, very premier product in its industry, and it's it's planting its flag right here in our city. It employs 155 employees, and they pay good wages and employ, again, many New Bedford residents. The relocation required the acquisition, renovation, and equipment purchasing and moving of capital equipment totaling some $3.6 million in total. And that was the basis of the TIF agreement with the city of New Bedford. TIF is the acronym that known by different names in other states, but here in Massachusetts, it's tax increment financing. And that's something that we use in the city to incent businesses to locate here and to grow. And we're pleased, as I said, to be part of the relocation and to support it. HTP plans to retain its existing employees and further expand and create approximately 40 new permanent positions over the next 5 years, with more growth and job creation planned for the long term. The types of jobs retained and created are wide-ranging and will include, again, sales, administration, executive functions, engineering, distributions, and manufacturing. The average wage of the new hires would be some $32 an hour. Good jobs right here in the city. And again, this is a mark of a city on the move, a city that is rapidly expanding its economic base, and it is really a tribute to a lot of folks, especially the folks that you see here today, but the folks that you see above me who work very hard to make that happen. So many folks in the audience as well. I want to acknowledge a few, but if I don't hit everybody who's had a role to play in this, it's by no means deliberate. But I do want to thank, first of all, Derek Santos, our Director of Economic Development in the city, and his team, some of whom are here today. Deb Trombley's here. I think some of the others here. Angela Johnson's probably around here somewhere. And they do such a great job in making projects like this move ahead. It requires government. In order for the city to attract employers like this, in order for employers like this to grow here, there has to be a close working relationship and trust with city government. And the interface in our city government is Derek Santos and his team at the EDC. And as I said, I'll call Derek up in a second. I wanted to acknowledge also the support of our congressional delegation. Ian Trombley's here on behalf of Congressman Keating. George Hempy is here on behalf of the Workforce Investment Board. And I know a number of folks who are here representing other boards who are really promoting New Bedford as a place to grow. We're very proud of what has been accomplished. New Bedford, as I said yesterday, is a city on the rise. There have been some 3,000 jobs created since January of 2012, which is a remarkable achievement in a city of 100,000, and we haven't stopped. It's important not to skip a beat. We're moving forward on all fronts, and this is just another big leap ahead. So before I welcome Dave Davis to the podium, I just want to call up Derek a little bit, maybe just talk a little bit about our TIF program and how deals like this happen. Derek.
Sure. Thank you. I'll now take 45 minutes and explain in detail the nuance of TIF programs. But what's really important to understand about the programs that we use in New Bedford is the word partnerships. And the TIF program is a great partnership between the company, the locality, and the state. Everybody has skin in the game to make projects happen. I can tell you that we've worked with dozens of companies over the years. We're working with, nearly a dozen right now. There'll be more great news in the months ahead as we move along in all areas of the city, all different types of projects. But when you have a chance to work with folks like Doris and David at HTP, it's incredibly smooth, it's incredibly easy. You can tell right away that it's a fantastic company, one that is just, stellar to work with. And as we go through the process, through permitting, when they were going through acquisition, and through the process, through the local TIF board, city council, and then at the state, the team at HTP were certainly second to none. So I know for my staff, who sort of have boots on the ground with these things, having that type of strong partnership, those quick responses is incredibly important. And to get that from the leadership of a company at almost any time of day really makes the process go smoother. We want more companies like HTP. We want more companies that are employing the types of employees that are employed here and doing world-class manufacturing. And when the mayor says that New Bedford is on the rise and on the move, I think 2 weeks ago we were cutting a ribbon at a new restaurant downtown. Last week we're at Upmarket Stitchers, just down the street from the Quest Center, HTP today, and there's more to come. So we're excited about that. We will use every tool at our disposal, be it a strong relationship with the mayor, who is incredibly pro-business and whose access to the mayor is, without question, easy to do, a transparent city government. Jim represents an incredibly supportive city council when it comes to these projects. And, we're just, everybody has their shoulder to the wheel. It's the private sector that makes these jobs happen. It's the private sector that is putting capital at risk. But anything that we can do to further the environment where the private sector can prosper and employ more folks, the Mitchell administration, has that, hands down second to none. So we're proud to play a role in that. We're proud to have worked with HTP. We'll continue to work with these guys in the months and years ahead. And we're certainly eager to work with companies in the future. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Dave. All right, next up, I want to call up Jim Oliveira, who is the ward councilor for this ward, Ward 1, and as importantly, someone who has been the economic development director in the city at one point, and now really spearheads economic development on the city council. And Derek's right. I mean, it's really great to have a partner like Jim on the city council, because TIF agreements and other mechanisms that we have at our disposal to draw companies here and to incite investment here are in many respects authorized by the city council as well. It's not just the mayor's office. So with all that, let me just call Jim up for a few words. Jim.
Well, there's another opening in the business park, so welcome to Ward 1. That's all I can tell you. It's wonderful to see that HTP has moved here. I was talking to the director of marketing earlier and saying that I used to drive by HTP in that other town, and where my daughter would visit a girlfriend of hers, and I kept asking myself, how can we get them to New Bedford? Well, I'm very happy to hear that Derek and his team worked diligently with this group of great managers, and happy to have them here today. As the mayor said, we continue to grow. We continue to work toward creating good jobs for people in our community. People in this community here up in the North End are still looking for work from time to time. And I'll tell you, there's nothing better than when it takes 5 minutes to drive to work every day. And I'm sure there are a number of people that probably up in the galleries here that are saying, hey, this is pretty close to home. And so we will continue to support things, initiatives like this as councilors. I want to mention that Councilor President Gomes sends his regrets today. He could not attend. The Vice President, Councilor Lopes, sends his regrets today. He could not attend. The other 7 councilors couldn't attend, but I'm here. So
Just remember that.
So, and I also want to make a note to you, Mayor, that in 2011, I started with the Workforce Investment Board. That's when the unemployment rate started going down.
That's right. That was no coincidence, for the record. No coincidence at all. All right, so I'm going to call up Dave Davis and Dave Martin from HTP. And again, it is great to have these jobs here. It's great to mark an occasion when a company moves its headquarters, a company of this size moves its headquarters to New Bedford. But there's other things to like that are very significant. There are 2 that come to mind. One is that one of the things they make very, very well are solar thermal equipment. And one of the signature initiatives in the last few years in New Bedford has been our embrace of the green economy, whether it's New Bedford's becoming the national leader in municipal solar, or positioning ourselves to become a leader in offshore wind, or the retrofitting of all of city equipment and lights and buildings with energy efficient technology. We are all about developing and being on the cutting edge of the green economy here. So that is a big, great fit for the city. In addition, and this is just a broader point, HTP is about being the best. And as we grow, as we get our footing in the city, as we grow our confidence, we have to take stock in the fact that this is a city where excellence is found and excellence is celebrated, whether it's making the best golf balls in the world down the street at Titleist, or the best suits in America at Joseph Abboud in the North End. We're doing the little what's done here is about being the best, and HTP is the best, and we're very proud to have you here, Dave, and we want to congratulate you on this occasion. And we have a proclamation from the city to mark the occasion, which says, the City of New Bedford hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to HTP, Inc. on the occasion of the grand opening of your New Bedford headquarters. Congratulations.
Great, thanks. Thank you very much. Those are very kind words. We at HTP really appreciate the efforts that the town has given us to welcome us into this industrial park. We have had our facility, for those who don't know, We've been in operation for 41 years in this area. We started as a really small company. Basically, my father started the business in a garage, is how we got started. And look at us here today in this building. And we have 2 facilities in the other town, I won't mention that other town, where we have our manufacturing facilities. And the good thing is that we create employment, we employ a lot of people, and we're in the manufacturing sector. And one of the great things that's happening today with HTP, for those of you who don't know, is we're on a growth pattern. We've seen significant growth this year. We've just started a second shift, and really things are going our way. What we produce is products that are high efficiency. As the mayor suggested, we do solar, but we also do high efficiency appliances, and that's where the industry is heading. We were there well before our competitors, and what we saw is the vision of where we needed to be. And that's what we're doing today, to take advantage of that, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And we hope that we will continue to create more jobs, good paying jobs, and really get manufacturing back into the city, get it as a major forefront as future goes on. What I'd like to do is I'd just like to recognize some special guests we have here, Brian French and Donna French. Brian is in the corner there. He's one of our employees that got us where we are today. I will go over some things that Brian did. He had over 32 years of service, and he really helped us strive to develop products and get where we needed to be. I'd also like to introduce my wife, Sandy, and my son, Connor, to the right. And I'd also like to acknowledge the city. Basically, John, congratulations on going for a 3rd term, and Jim Oliveira and Derek and Liz, all your help that you did, really taking us through the process of purchasing the facility, getting the TIF funding. It's a process that we're not used to doing, and it really helps when the city comes up, steps up, and shows what they can do to support industry. I mean, we need all the support we can get. Obviously, when you have infrastructure like this, when you have bricks and mortar, there's a lot of costs that go involved. And we have to invest money, and it's always, always appreciated when the government steps up and helps us. It's just something that really helps us get where we need to be, helps us be more competitive, take some of those initial costs and freeze those costs that are pretty substantial and an upfront. I mean, we bought this building in January, and the unfortunate part is we bought this building in January. And if everybody knows, it started snowing in January. And one of the things that happened is we had a lot of snow go on our roof, and then I got my son up every morning on Saturdays, and guess what we were doing? We were shoveling snow on that roof. And I am not kidding you, because I was very nervous that I just bought a building for a lot of money, and the roof was going to cave in, as you heard on the news all the time. So, I mean, really, there's a lot that goes in. There's a lot of passion in business, and that's what we try to do. We try to make sure that we do that from the top down, and we design the best products, as the mayor suggested. Some of the things that we are really looking to do is, one of the nice things about this facility is it's located very close to our other facilities in the non-mentioned town, and which is really, really nice, because what it helps us is it helps us not build or really look at a huge facility that would cost us a significant amount of money and would really help us limit our growth. So this facility was perfect. We work with Rick. Rick, I don't know where you are, but I'll tell you, Rick was very patient with us. We were like a homeowner that was never satisfied. We kept looking at buildings and we said, Rick, this is not the building. Rick, we need more power, or this is not the loading dock space. We looked everywhere. And then finally this building came, and Rick showed us this building. And again, it took us time. I'm a very nervous, conservative person. When I'm spending a lot of money, I want to make sure it's right. And I knew this was right. New Bedford's the right place to be. Our employees come from New Bedford. We have great employees. It's a great location. We have customers coming in now. They look at our facility. They see a top-notch facility where we can grow and we can have future growth with our company. And Rick was really patient, and we got the deal done. The warehouse with its facility here and its distribution, we have what, 12 docks, is it? We have 12 docks, which really help us bring material in, bring material out, and really keep our products moving and keep the material flowing. We are really, you look at the advent of what we're doing in this facility, some of the side benefits for the town and for the state is we have a lot of people coming in. We just had a group in here today of 25 of our representatives that came from Canada, came from California. We have vendors coming in all the time. Guess where they stay? We tell them to stay in New Bedford. Guess what they're doing? They're spending money. That's what this is all about. Economic growth is about creating jobs, creating opportunities, and these ancillary things that occur are the side benefits of having a manufacturer like us in this town. And it works out very, very well. And we have a lot of training. We bring in a lot of people. We have people coming internationally to our facilities here. They see New Bedford. They see what New Bedford's all about. They might even come bring their families for vacations, things of that nature. But it's really what HTP can bring to New Bedford, those other opportunities, those other ancillary things. You hear about manufacturing, you hear about manufacturing going overseas. I travel all over the world, and I see the competitive nature of what's happening in the world today. I'm fascinated by it. As soon as I get off a plane, I tell Dave, I said, I want to see what my money gets me. I want to see what their exchange. I want to see what they do with their employees. Because I always want to know what I'm competing against. It's the most important thing in business today. You got to know your competitors. You got to know where you're going. And that's one of the things that we've done here at HTP is look at those global aspects of our business. And we've been able to maneuver and create relationships and things that have strengthened our business instead of looking at it as a negative. So we've done a lot of things like that to support our growth, and we'll continue to do that. And these are some of the things that will really help us as we start to move. The bricks and mortar are really the foundation. This building is the foundation of where we're going. So what I'd like to do now is, one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to recognize one of our employees before I hand it over to Liz. Brian French was one of our head engineers. Brian, could you come up here? Give him a hand. I worked with Brian for 32 years. Brian and I traveled all over the place. Brian was one of our engineers who developed basically two key products that really catapulted our business as we went forward. He was really instrumental in growing our company and part of what we look for at HTP in excellence and things of that nature as we start to move forward, as we start to develop products. And Brian, our people are our foundation, and Brian was a key element of that. Unfortunately, Brian took ill, and he had to retire earlier than he wanted to. And Brian and I traveled everywhere. Brian was the type of person when we got to shows, when we were at manufacturers, I'd turn around and I couldn't find him. I would say, where did Brian go? And Brian's underneath a machine, or Brian's looking at a competitor's product, or Brian's talking to somebody. And he was just that type of person, very aggressive, and really wanted to find out and learn more and design our products to be the top-notch products. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And I've known Brian when he first started with the company, where we were in a garage, and Brian and I was drilling plates, and Brian was painting coils, and we went from that to where we're at today. It's pretty phenomenal growth. So I'd like to give Brian a plaque in our appreciation. Brian?
Thank you.
We also have a poster of everybody, all our employees signed, and just wishing you good luck and your future endeavors. Well, thank you very much, and I'll have Liz.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David. And last but certainly not least is our chairperson of the Greater New Bedford Industrial Board, and that's Liz Isherwood, who has, in her time on the board, has seen tremendous growth. I want to acknowledge the executive director emeritus, Tom Davis, who was a big part of the growth of this park over the years, and Liz has been an able steward, a very successful steward certainly in the last few years while I've been mayor, but even before that as a contributor in so many ways. So Liz, I know this is a big day for us here.
Certainly is.
The park's doing really well.
Thank you, Mayor. I am the only thing standing between you and hors d'oeuvres, so I'm going to make it very rapid. But on behalf of the Greater New Bedford Industrial Foundation, I want to welcome everybody here. The foundation, for those of you who don't know, was formed in 1955 and purchased this land, which is now the business park, with the sole purpose of bringing jobs to New Bedford. And if you drive around this park today, it is clearly one of the more successful parks within the Commonwealth. And HTP, we're very happy to have you here, and joining the likes of other worldwide companies such as Acushnet, makers of Titleist golf balls, AFC Cable Systems, a Headgear, and I'm going to forget to mention somebody, so I'm going to stop because those are the biggies. But there are between 3,000 and 4,000 people working here at the park, and this is probably the epicenter of manufacturing jobs in the city of New Bedford, just based on geography. I mean, there certainly are manufacturing jobs throughout the community, but this is really the epicenter. So on behalf of the executive committee of the Industrial Foundation, thank you for joining us here at the park, and welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So one thing between us now and the hors d'oeuvres is, of course, the ribbon cutting. We have the ceremonial machete that we bring to these ribbon cuttings. Family business, it's a family affair. All right, ready? All right, I think we're ready. All right, on three. 1, 2, 3.